Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. This week it is myself and Kurt and our guest Tyler from Geode, Cracker, and Collector. So today's theme is going to be Geodes and Thundereggs, all things that are mostly round.
For the most part.
Unfortunately, yeah, the best. So unfortunately, Theo and Karen could not be with us today, so you're gonna have to skip the shouts for this week. But we will make up for it next week, I promise. So that being said, welcome to the podcast and welcome Tyler welcome back. It's been a hot minute since you've been here. And
it's been a little while.
But nothing
wrong with that.
No, not at all. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to anyone that might be a new viewer, and we can go.
Yeah, definitely. My name is Tyler. I also go by Geode, Cracker, and Collector here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Not on Twitter though. Not that cool, but great to be back. I watch every week that I can. So if you guys have watched, you've seen me in the comments most of the time, but it's a great podcast, a lot of great content, great hosts. So it's great to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Kurt, who are you?
My name is Theo with, I don't know. My name is Kurt with Rock.Hounding.Adventures out in Western Colorado, where it's been really hot lately. I was gonna pull a Theo, but then I was like, nah, I'll stick with my channel.
You could almost have gone with like, hi, I'm Theo with World of Ozone Kellison.
There you go.
a blend. And I'm Kyle with World of Rockhounds, and that was our introduction. And we will not be having Tucker interrupting us because I am actually in the shop tonight, and kind of a change of scenery. So how is everyone's weeks? We'll start with you, Tyler.
Good. Super eventful in the sense of cleaning my house. My wife just went back to work on Tuesday. She was off with maternity leave for our son. So it's a nice little transition going back. My son did not want to take a bottle at all. So we had a nice 2.5 hours screaming fit, and then he fell asleep, then woke up and had another couple hours, and it was fun. Cut some crazy geodes. So that's what everybody wants to hear about. So if you guys are familiar with my channel and watched yesterday, I just shared a video, and I'll show it for my show and tell, but cut into a geode from the Geode beds that had a secondary mineral I've never encountered before, and took me a while to figure out what it was, and I'm still not 100% sure. But that was pretty cool. So other than that, my channel just hit 4,000 subscribers as of yesterday. So that's pretty exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Wait. Hold on, do I have any left?
Yeah, does he have a horn?
All right, ready?
Oh,
I'm ready. Yay!
You're from last year.
Sweet. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. It's been a lot of fun. My hottest spot at Geode video has done a lot of good for me. It's
nice.
Coming up on 218,000 views. So that's brought some people my way. So
nice.
it's been kind of crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Good one to pick up and do well. I don't fumble over my words or stutter a whole bunch. It's a nice, short, straight to the point video. So I'm glad it's that one.
Those are usually the videos that do well. And for myself, when I first started making videos, I went off topic a lot, or I stumbled my words. And I got to the point where you just cut the fluff and you get to the point, and it's better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Clickbaity titles work too. I put a couple out that were some funny titles, and they weren't total clickbait. They were true to the content, but if you didn't know what the content was, it had you scratching your head and curious. So
is it like the rhino horn?
Like the rhino horn one. There was I gave my rocks acid. You'll never believe their reactions. I've got cut the crap, cutting copper lights. Just a couple of funny ones. So it's a lot of fun. It's exciting to see. I always do live premieres or live streams and stuff like that. I've pretty much got 4 videos coming out every week now if I'm staying on track and able to get everything done. But it's cool. Lately, there's pretty much every premiere, there's 1 or 2 new names popping in and joining in, and it's pretty exciting. Nice to see the community growing.
Right. That's pretty busy for 4 videos a week. I gave you a lot of credit for that.
4 videos to the extent that Monday and Thursdays are my regular uploads. Saturday nights I do my live geode cracking. This past weekend I introduced my live geode break, which is kind of a twist on my live geode cracking. So if you're curious about that, check it out. I don't want to go too crazy with that. And then Sundays I'll do like a recap of my geode cracking. So it'll just be like a 6 to 8 minute video just of the geode being cracked and then looking at it out in the sunlight. Because a lot of folks don't want to sit and rewatch an hour or hour and a half long stream. So the next day I just put out the sweet points everybody wants to see.
Nice.
And so not too terrible. Definitely have times where I forget about doing the video, like not this past weekend, the weekend before that video. Well, I have it made. I tried to put it out like 2 or 3 times, and then I kept getting issues with copyright, and I just was like, this isn't worth it for such a short video. I've got other videos I'm working on, too much other stuff going on. So I mean, I'll get it out at some point, but it's not too bad. It's enjoyable. And I mean, other than YouTube, I mean, I'm a full-time dad, so in the downtimes and nighttime and stuff like that, I've got time to work, and most of my cutting videos and things like that, especially when I'm in the shop, 9 times out of 10, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning that I'm out there filming and cutting and stuff, and just bright and chipper, acting like it's the middle of the day. So, but it's good. Keeps me busy.
It's a lot of work.
Yep. It is. It sure is. So if you're out there and just getting into it, don't be discouraged. It doesn't happen overnight. Not everybody has a video that does well. Even my hottest spot of Geode video, it was out for 10 months before it broke like 1,500 views, and then after it hit like that 1,500 mark, it just like jumped up. So I wasn't anticipating it at all. From my analytics and looking at it from my perspective, I wasn't projecting myself to hit 2,000 subscribers until the end of this year. So the fact that I just hit 4K is like blows my mind.
Yeah, they also have that it's like a website. I think it's called Social Blade, and you can actually plug it.
Yeah,
you can plug in your channel.
Yeah, that's what I use.
You can see the projected growth, but it's not a set number because anything can happen at any given time. Yeah, it's just it's a fun idea. Yeah, it's fun to look at.
Yeah, definitely.
Check it out.
Definitely. Yeah, if you haven't looked at it, check it out. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was referencing, mentioning that I wasn't going to hit like 2K until the end of the year, because it'll go and looks at how previous videos do and how they're interacted with and stuff like that. And if you continue on with that manner, you'll reach this point at this amount of time. But like Kyle said, if you have a video that does really well, it jumps it up and it all goes crazy. But for a long time, for like 3 to 4 months, Social Blade was like, yeah, you'll hit 2K by maybe 2023.
Yeah.
So kind of blew me away. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll check that out right after the podcast.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely check it out.
Well, thank you for sharing your week. Kurt, how is your week?
My week has been hot and miserable. The sun and the heat just won't go away. Every now and then we get storms, but it cools it down for like 10 minutes and storms are gone and sun's back out. So I haven't really been out doing much outside, just been staying indoors and looking at rocks for my precious stones. And I've been getting some rocks together so that way I can start trying to do some polishing. I was going over some, I was looking at my Kentucky crinoid segment pieces. And I noticed some of them have some really tight banding going on in the center of the crinoid. So I'm gonna try and like grind down to that agate layer and do some polishing and make some little cabs out of those soon. And see, I think today was my first day to go outside to do some cutting, which you'll see that later. And I did some, I cut a Thunderegg that Kyle gave me from 2 years ago. And yeah, that's pretty much been my week. And I've been meaning to get my giveaway video out. I just can't video it because I can't get out to the spot to video it because it's too hot outside. So that hopefully in the next couple of days I can do that, have that up for Monday. Otherwise it'll be the cutting video from today.
Stupid son.
Stupid son. It's very stupid.
Well, thank you for sharing your week, and we'll look forward to seeing the giveaway video when it does come out.
I don't think nobody minds waiting a little bit, so you don't go out there and toast yourself. So it's all
boil.
Yeah. Safety number one priority.
Oh yes.
Let's see here. My week is been slightly stagnant as far as the shop work goes. I have some projects that are starting to come in. I have a couple knives here on my bench that I need to actually do. I don't remember if I shared it publicly or just to my members of my channel, but I have like these knives I have to get some handles on. And this one I think is going to be sodalite and some other material. My neighbor said it was kind of a dealer's choice, I guess. So he said, as long as the main part's the sodalite, you can pick whatever you want for the other part of it. And then just another little knife he wants the sodalite handle on. So I got those projects, and then oh gosh, what else? Got some fire obsidian to do for a customer. I've actually been pretty picky about taking on obsidian projects just because it takes so long to do. But when you show me these pictures of the fire obsidian, I'm like, yeah, I'll take those on. They are beautiful pieces, and I think what I'll do is once those actually get polished up, I'll do a video actually each day for one whole week, and that'll just be obsidian week, rather than spend 5 weeks for each video to come out, because it just gets repetitive after a while. So 1 week will be obsidian week. So cool. That might be sometime
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'll be sometime in August. And then but then I have some others, like some small odds and projects to get done. I still have that one big piece of obsidian. I'll show you. It's kind of hard because it's on the top level.
Hey, real quick, Kyle. For the Obsidian Week, you could message the other channels up and see if other channels want to participate in Obsidian Week.
Oh,
and make it a yearly thing.
That's not a bad idea.
Huh. I'm supposed to have some obsidian coming my way for me to play with. I could try and put some obsidian stuff together.
If you want. I mean, just an idea.
No, that's actually a pretty good idea. In that case,
or I could just crash Obsidian Week, put it out at the same time. Hey, But yeah, I think that'd be cool. I feel like you can get a fair amount of people in on that.
Yeah. In that case, if I did that, I'd probably have to make a plan for maybe September to give people time to work on whatever they're working on. So I might reach out to. I might just post it in our Facebook group. How about
that? Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, so once I get all the projects done over a period of time, I actually do want to get this big piece of fire obsidian done. This is the one that I sent over to Gemstones to do the obsidian video on, and I'm really hoping that this stays in one big piece, because it's hard to work a piece and then not find fractures, just because you don't know what's going on in these pieces until you actually start working it. But other than that, I've been kind of slow in the shop, but like projects coming in, just because it's also been hot over here too. We had like 2 days where it was like in the mid 90s, and then just getting accustomed to my new job. Yeah, a little bit. I come home from work from working all day, and I'm just like, just find the coldest house in the room, and it's like arms up, just like trying to get like non-sweaty, just like trying to cool down, because I only have like 2 miles to drive from work to come back home, but my AC in my truck doesn't work. So it's like windows down, and just I want to get home. I'm already like starting like just to get drenched in sweat. I'm like, this is so much fun.
As Greg would say, a very active member of the community, he would say you had 270. You have 270 AC, 2 windows down at 70 miles an hour.
Well,
that's what he uses in his truck.
Technically, our speed limit on there in the highway is 255 until you get about the bridge, and it's 225.
Oh man!
And my windows are manual, so I have to roll the other one down before I can even go anywhere.
Never mind. Yeah, that's
gotta get home and get those popsicles.
There you go.
But other than that, that was my week, and now we can get into kind of today's theme of Thundereggs and Geodes, and we're going to go ahead and start with Tyler.
Oh, pressure's on me. All right. So you said 2 or 3, so I grabbed 4.
That works. I mean, Kurt, if you have more too, that's fine. Just send me more
I
pictures.
got more than 3 or 4.
Well, I'll admit the 4th one I'll show you. I'm not gonna pick that one up very much. I'm just gonna really quick. I want to double check the order that I sent you the pictures. I want to make sure it's easier for you. First up, this one is a geodized fossil. So it's a little hard to tell, but you can kind of see from this side. You notice the point here and it kind of spirals down. So this is a geodized gastropod. And honestly, I didn't really notice that spiral or that shape of it until I cracked this open and saw inside. Wow. And you can literally see, especially in this one, you can see the tubes go down. So this was from one of the first trips I took out there, or from the first summer, I really started hounding them really well out there. So definitely one of my favorites that sits on the shelf. Super, super cool. For those not aware, a geodized fossil is one of the theories of how fossils form. So like we can see here, there's clear, Lord, we can see, I pulled a Kyle, man. We can see there's clear indicators that this was something else once upon a time. So there's just different fossils you come across, and I found brachiopods and ammonites and things like that. So this is one of them. Next, I got this one here is kind of ties in with last week's topic. This has got some Kentucky agate in it, but this is a geode that I collected. Let's see, make sure it's not too blurry. Down in Kentucky with the Kentucky Rockhound, my buddy Mike. And it's really, really cool. Got that awesome pyrite cube hanging out in there.
Nice. That's cool.
And the pyrite does make another appearance. So this one here, I decided to take a slice. So not technically a geode have or anything, but it's part of the geode. So you can see all that red in there. It took a really beautiful polish. But then we flip it over and that red starts to get flooded by this black chalcedony down here. And it's really hard to tell, but all inside of there, maybe you can see it in the light, is little itty bitty flakes and cubes of pyrite, all That's inside cool. of that black. So it's really, really cool. So I'm trying to see if I can catch it in the light.
Is that pretty rare to find?
Right. Yeah. To my understanding, when I sent a picture to Mike, he kind of flipped out a little more than I was flipping out, and he's like, I've never seen it like that. So I mean, I know it's been found down there, but it's definitely something that's a little more uncommon. And I just really like it. Literally, like this is all just the same pocket, and that red just transitions to black. So I'm just curious what caused it. That's why I love geodes and agates and things like that, because if you just look at it and it's like, why? Like, just what happened? Why only there? And then I mean, even back on this side, this little beautiful druzy pocket. That's why I love geodes. Yeah. There's just so much that can happen inside one piece. You go, not that there's anything wrong with anything else, but you go hunting for obsidian, you're gonna find obsidian. You go hunting for jasper, you're gonna find jasper. But with geodes, you really have no idea what you're gonna come across, which leads me into this next geode here, which this is the one I mentioned earlier. This was just in today when we're recording it. This is in yesterday's video for you guys watching now. This one I found, I recently went out and did some camping with my brother and sister-in-law, and we met up with Greg, who came down from Canada, and we just went and kind of scoured the Illinois side of the Mississippi River out in like the Keokuk geode beds to find a creek or just a public access to go and find geodes, so we don't have to go to a mine. Nothing against Vickers geode mine or Jacobs geode mine out there. It was hot. It was like 80s to 90s. We weren't trying to go and spend the whole day just hammering away for some smaller geodes. So we had a couple misses and didn't find places, but we finally we came across a father and son. They were fishing, and we stopped, and I wanted to look, because we went on this like little bridge and there was a creek that ran underneath it. So I'm like, I want to look and see what it looks like over there. And it was just, regular water. It was just a little tributary of the Mississippi River. So then we just asked these folks, and they're like, oh, you're literally like right across the street. Just like go right over there, and there's a creek right over there. Just walk back a little ways and you'll find some. So that's where I came across this guy, which is massive. And what was cool about this, when I first found it, it didn't rattle. So a great way to check a geode to see if it's hollow is give it a little shake. And if there's a crystal or some sort of, something growing inside, and if it's knocked loose and if you can hear it knocking around, then that pretty much tells you it's hollow. So at the creek, there was no rattle, but by the time it made it home, it was rattling. And I actually came to the realization while filming my video. So I won't show you just what was rattling around.
It sounds pretty hollow just from what I'm listening to right now.
Yeah, just
yeah.
It's a really, really nice.
Where'd you find those? Where'd you get those coconuts? I found them.
Hold on. There's a water bottle like right over there.
Yeah, that's right.
It won't do it justice without water. So this is the smaller half of this geode.
Ooh.
Which is just ridiculous. Really beautiful colors inside of that botryoidal chalcedony. Now it's going to be a little harder to see because I just wet it, but right down in here, which I did send a picture to Kyle, there's this mineral growth. And what I've come to the conclusion, or the closest thing I could figure out that it looks like, is a mineral called pyrolusite, which is a manganese dioxide. And I'll support that a little more with this other half, but this is the bigger half. And there's that.
Wow, that's cool.
Massive. And then the coolest part about this was, like I said, the secondary. So when I cut this open, there must have been one portion of this crystal that was still stuck because there was one part that did get cut, but I was able to reconstruct. And this is the secondary that was growing inside. So this is a metallic crystal.
That's crazy.
Which I'll get a picture of that for Kyle. But the best part is I was able to determine where this is going to sit inside of here. I don't have the proper glue for it just yet, but that's how that sucker grew inside of there.
Wow.
So, once I'm able to polish this thing, because it's going to be a mission to polish this thing. It was a little bit of a rough cut. You can see right there, but that's the best part. Once it's mounted in place, the actual crystal will extend further than the face of the geode, because I lucked out with it breaking apart in 4 pieces. So like I said, one part did get cut, but the rest were intact, and I was able to glue them all back in place. And that's just going to be one epic geode to put on the shelf once it's ready.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
So super, super cool. I did have someone who watched the video, one of my subscribers, reach out and said that they thought it could possibly be stillbite or stillabite, but I just saw that message like just before getting ready for this, so I haven't had a chance to look into that. So there's that thought out there, but to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's pyrolusite. But either way, it's really cool, super awesome. For a long time, I thought it was pyrite, and I was like trying to figure out like what kind of crystal it was, and like a day and a half of frustrating searches that led to nothing. And then of all things, I took out my National Audubon field guide to North American Rocks and Minerals, and I was flipping through that, and I was like, that looks a lot like it. And sure enough, I looked it up and I found a couple like almost identical specimens. I'm like, this is at least closer than I was with my guess of pyrite. So
that's actually a really good. That's a good book too.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I recommend it to everybody who asks for anything in help as terms of identifying. I just love it. If you haven't seen it before, it separates it by the color of crystal and then the types of rocks, and just the way they put it all together just makes it so easy. So if you have this brown crystal that's growing and you know what it looks like, you just go to the brown crystal section and then you just kind of search through and it shows you the crystal structures, and super informative. I love it. It's helped me a lot. I did get ripped off when I bought it though, because I bought it on my honeymoon when we were down in Tennessee, and I bought it at a tourist stop for like $60. Don't buy it for $60 because it's not a $60 book. But I really wanted it because I was going to do some rock hounding and I was rusty. That was right when I got back into the kick of rock collecting, and on my honeymoon is when my wife realized how bad my addiction / hobby is. So she says I planned that on purpose, but I didn't. We just happened to be going on a honeymoon in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we're driving through Kentucky. So I'm like, man, last time I was in Kentucky, I found some agates, but that was like 14 years ago. So that's just what my brain thought of immediately. Speaking of Kentucky agates, the last one I got to show you guys, and I saved it for the end because it's redonkulous, and I do have a couple photos that I also sent Kyle, but this thing is like 36 pounds.
Cow.
Wow.
And the center of that is got Botryoidal chalcedony. There is like these weird like little bumps, and you'll see it a little better in the picture. I'm not sure what those are. Never seen it. Not sure if I recognize that growth habit, especially on chalcedony, but all that red in there, it's a little harder to see, but the red is all beautiful banded agate. More fortification banding, but really, really gnarly. And this thing is a monster.
So are you going to have that cut, or are you just going to figure out a way to polish this around the edge?
That is a debate I've had with myself many, many days and many, many nights. I would really like to, I think I would like to get it cut like straight down the middle. I think that would be pretty cool, because then it would, I could polish the face and I could still preserve, the natural break, how I found it in, in the creek. But that's pretty cool. But if I ever get somebody who's got a saw big enough to cut that, my biggest geode I have out is almost 140 pounds.
That's insane.
And that came from the same creek that one came from. And my hope is that the big one sitting in my garage is full of Kentucky agate as well. But I'll probably just look at it for the rest of my life, because I won't smash that one or try and crack it or anything. That one deserves to be cut. Like, it's literally big enough where if I get it cut perfectly in half, I can make them into like end tables with how big they are. So that's what I would like to do. I had the idea of trying to find, which would cost me an arm and a leg. So this is like future Tyler, like 10 years down the road. But I would love to find like some petrified wood stumps, like just two matching ones, and just be able to have it be a stand of petrified wood, and then a big old Kentucky agate, hopefully, knock on wood. If not, just at least a big Kentucky geode on top of it. That'd be pretty sick. But
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I need.
Sorry.
No. What's that?
I was gonna say you could see like some over there where you live. See if there's anyone that like cuts granite, or that has those big saws to like that cuts countertops, and then see if they would be willing to maybe cut it for you, or something. May not be that expensive.
I could look into that. There's a couple of countertop places or in the area. I don't know. Would that be like a tool you would find in a quarry? Because when I went and did a gem show, I met a dude that runs the quarry like just north of me in Wisconsin. Yeah. So I don't know if they have. I don't know exactly what happens in a quarry. I know they break stuff up, but I don't know if they have like big old saws or anything like that. So yeah. I'll look into it. But yeah, I've got a couple of big ones out there. I've got another one that's similar size to that. A little bit longer, that's also from the same creek. Just a couple of real big ones that, one day I'll get big boy money and be able to find a way to cut them and hopefully find something crazy inside. But I took a picture in that same creek where I found those, and I stood on a geode that literally Like if I put I'm a size 11 and a half. If I went heel to toe from one edge to the other edge of that geode, I'd probably take like 3.5 steps.
Wow.
That's how wide that geode was.
That's crazy.
And I was just standing on it and I was like, I want to take you home. I tried to move, like, there's no way. No way. My buddy Mike, the Kentucky Rockhound, he's laughing at me. He's like, you need a backhoe to get that thing out. He's like, there ain't no way you're getting that thing out. And it was starting to rain too. And I'm like, I'm getting one of these big ones. I don't care how big, like, I'm getting a big one. And that's when I was able to, I just strong man that one up. It's kind of more pancake shaped. So it was difficult just to get it up and over. But once I got it up on the road, because it was like maybe a 3.5 foot bank up to the road where we were parked. Man, that was a mission. But then I just put it on its side and I rolled that thing like a spare tire just to the back of the car. And that was it. Oh, nice. Man, it was crazy. I was so nervous driving home. I drive a little Nissan Altima, just a 4-door sedan. And I had like 4 buckets of geodes in the back. I even, what did I do? I think I put it in the center of my car, like, because there's just the row of seats in back, and then the little armrest. I propped it right there in the middle. I was like, just all this weight right in the middle. I don't need it too far right or left, just right there in the middle.
So you driving a lowrider?
Pretty much. It was almost scraping on the way back. But we're gonna be upgrading cars soon, and it's gonna be a different story. But those are the geodes I have with me now. I mean, I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of geodes out in the shop, but that's what I've got to share with you guys for now. If you want to see more, go check out my channel.
Well, thank you for sharing your geodes and
the stories.
Yeah, and the stories.
Oh.
So, Kurt, what do you got for us tonight?
So I got. So I'll start with the 2 Thundereggs and then the other couple geodes. So. You guys that are watching this podcast will get to see this weeks in advance from the video that will come out on it. But the cutting video of this Thunderegg, I'll send Kyle a video showing it, but it's very beautiful. You have the nice clear water banding Kellison running right here, and then like, hold on, you guys, you didn't get to see it. Let's see if I can do this a little bit easier to see. The rhyolite almost kind of has like a sun like picture.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really cool, and
wow.
I'll send some cool video over to Kyle so he can replace this. But yeah, there's the other side.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to get that. I don't like. I was like looking at the outside. And there's this one little vein of Kellison running right here, and so you know what? I'm gonna cut across that and just hope for the best. And I hope for the best.
Those little Richardson. Go ahead.
Is that the white? Is that just a different colored rhyolite, or is that another mineral in there? Or
so it looks like there's a little bit of moss going on in the water banding, and then the rhyolite. But I think this one, Kyle, you said it was from.
I believe this one Richardson. Yeah, Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson Ranch in Oregon.
Very cool.
Were you going to say something else, Kyle?
Oh, no, I was going to say that a lot of times those Richardson eggs are really cool. The only thing is they don't have the dig site open anymore for the public, but they do still go out and dig for the eggs and bring it back to the rock shop for people to buy.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
That's a bummer. I didn't get a chance to get out there.
I only got to go out there once.
Maybe one day they'll open it back up and we'll go.
One day.
Yeah, when I wasn't, because Kyle sent me 2 Thundereggs 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and I was trying to figure out which one was what. And I know Jared currently rock hounding has been out there, I think, or has cut open Richardson Ranch Thunderegg, so I figured that's what this one was. And then Kyle also sent me a Cannon Ranch Thunderegg, which I'm not going to try cutting this open because I have a very dull blade that's not circular anymore. It's like oblong circle. So I got a blade coming in and we'll cut this one open and see what it looks like.
I like that.
So yeah. So those are the 2 Thundereggs that I have. And then for geodes, so I recently put out a video while I was out in Kentucky not recently, back in 2019, whenever I was living in Kentucky. I was out road cut hunting geodes, and this one was not in the video, but this one is probably about half of a softball size.
Wow.
Just some calcite quartz geodes, which see if that doesn't drown it out. It's not. I'll send Kyle a video, but it's just a cool quartz calcite geode. And in that same area, I think is Mississippian from era. So like there is like a lot of shell. So like the outside of the I originally thought it was limestone, but there's a ton of shell in the area, and you can find crinoids, brachiopods, gastropods, and so forth. And a few of the geodes that I found were geotized fossils of brachiopods. I sent one out to Agate Dad. He cut it open a couple months ago. It has some beautiful agate lace where the structure of the shell was. And this one right here is my last geotized brachiopod. So I plan on cutting this one open soon. But it's a full brachiopod. It meets here and here, and I'll send Kyle a video of this one as well. But you can see the natural shell structure. I don't know if this isn't helping. I don't know. But I'm excited to see what is in this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those-
Dude, I'll have to get you some. I've got Indiana ones just like that. You know, there's not a chance of agate, but I've got a fair amount of really nice geodized brachs. I'll have to get you some of those.
Nice.
If you enjoy cutting those ones.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the so like the minerals that I found in those geodes are dolomite, celestite, I think is what someone told me, from the Kentucky paleontology group on Facebook.
I know stilbites out there. I haven't found it personally. I find a lot of like iron related minerals in the Indiana ones.
Nice.
So
nice. And another one, when you were talking about the gastropod geode that you found, so like a lot of the shops in southern Kentucky that buy local geodes, they'll have like a big barrel full of geodes. They'll be like $1, $2 geodes. You can find those fossilized gastropods mixed in there. You just have to look for that spiral structure.
nice.
Because, and you can get them really cheap for like a buck or two. And when I pointed it, when I was out in Cave City, I was out at a rock shop, and I pointed out to them, like, this is a fossil or geotized fossil, and then they like took it and marked it up like $10, $15. But the barrel was full of them. So like, little tip.
Oh, thanks. You just made us more money.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then this geode is one from my recent video I put out last Monday, the shorts video. It's just a quartz geode with a little bit of agate running through it. This geode was given to me in a rock trade from Created Rocks, Dan the Rockman, back in 2020. Yeah, 2020, we did a rock trade. He didn't have a channel then, but he has one now. So if you haven't seen this video, go check it out, because this is a major key in my giveaway. Hopefully, if I can get it out next week. Yeah. And then the last one is this geode was given to me by a friend over in central Kentucky. And we were, he originally messaged me saying that he found some geothite and gave me the location. I went out and found some geothite out there. But then like nearby that location, like 8 months later, he messaged me and said, look at these geodes I found. And he busted them open, and there were smoky quartz geodes. But there was also a tar-like mineral embedded in a lot of the between all the crystals. So you can kind of see it in a couple of these. But like this one right here, it is smoky quartz, but there's also dogtooth calcite crystals in here.
Wow.
Cool.
But most of it is smoky quartz.
That's awesome.
This one doesn't have as much that tar mineral. There is some like dolomite in here. But the ones that have like tar, like, let's see if this one has some of that tar mineral embedded in between the smoky quartz, giving it that really deep black color.
That's really cool.
So
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Here's another piece. This was probably the best of the 5 pieces that I have. But it's really nice and sparkly.
Wow.
And yeah, I'll get a close-up shot in the video that I sent Kyle. And then here's some with some like iron stained dolomite, smoky quartz with dogtooth calcite.
Wow.
And the last piece, I don't know if this flashlight's helping, so if not,
Oh, it is. It is.
okay.
Yeah, it is.
So you
cool.
can kind of see.
Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely
awesome.
a cool piece. The smoky quartz almost has like a umber brown to it as well, so it kind of has like an amber. Yeah, just like it's pretty beautiful. And whenever I can get back out to that area, I'm gonna stop by here and pick up some of those geodes.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
My
family and I, we're gonna be moving to Kentucky in a few years. We're gonna be going.
Nice.
We're aiming for the Stanford area. So yeah, I can't wait. Count down the days. Down the days.
Nice.
Oh man. So with that one you just had, I'm curious. I know in Illinois, there's a certain creek you can find in hydrogeodes, but instead of having water in inside, it's crude oil. So I'm wondering if something like that was going on with those ones. That's really cool.
That's kind of what Brandon I think was thinking. Brandon is the guy that found this spot. He found a lot of these and then took them to the local rock shop there in Cave City. It's like
By the Mammoth Caves.
Mammoth Cave. It's the biggest rock shop in Kentucky. They also have the cheapest prices too. But he took a lot of this there, and they were like amazed with it and bought his whole collection and was selling them for a while about a year ago. But yeah, this stuff is
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's very unique.
I'm drooling over here. I'm like, I don't have a geode that looks like that. I was like, you said Kentucky. I'm like, all right,
Let's
challenge
go.
accepted. I got somewhere to find when I'm down there.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Well,
Love
thank you, Kirk, for sharing your geodes and your Thundereggs. Always appreciated. And I am the last person in line here. I only got a couple really. Yeah, I can make it 3, but I'll start with 2 for right now. So, some time ago, I went to an estate sale and they had a big old 55-gallon steel drum full of Australian Thundereggs, and I'm like, I forgot how much they were per pound. I think it was like $5 or $6 per pound. It was expensive for a frugal person. But I'm like, I'll see if we can find some good ones, and I did. It took me a while to get around to actually working on these. I feel like they're a little bit more tougher than the Richardson Thundereggs here in Oregon, and by tougher I mean a little bit more harder to actually get all the scratches out for whatever reason. You actually might be a little bit dusty, but that's okay. I'll have some pictures too. I'll be sure to send the pictures to Kyle so he can make sure I get these in there. But here we have, this would have been a double Thunderegg. And again, I'll have some pictures up so you can get a better idea of the color. These are actually really hard to take a photo of. Some of these, they wouldn't quite
beautiful.
Yeah, they wouldn't really want to focus, but they're so beautiful and they take a really good polish.
Yeah.
Even the rhyolite here on the side, you can just kind of see that shine. But
yeah, that's crazy.
It turned out wonderful. So that one would have been.
It's really bright rhyolite too.
It is, and it's weird because it doesn't even really look the same as like the Thundereggs we have in here in Oregon, but they're just really cool. So there's that one. That one would have been a double. And actually, I have more Thundereggs actually in my rock room of Australian Thundereggs I haven't even worked yet. And then we have this one here, which is interesting because this is the one side of it, and you can kind of see the the core here, and it
Mhm.
looks like it could be jasper, but then you kind of flip it over, and then you have that.
Oh wow.
And I actually
Wow.
I did a cutting. No, I didn't do a cutting. I did a polishing video on these some time ago, and I say polishing because these were already broken open. So I was already working with the shape of the stone and just grinding it and then polishing it the way it was. But I remember specifically that this one, I had a really hard time taking a photograph because the center here looks red, right? Well, the camera,
Yeah.
the way that this was kind of, the way that the red is, it looks blurry. And so the camera was having a really hard time looking at this color and like, is the camera in focus? And it's like kept trying to auto focus itself. I'm like, no, it's not blurry. It's just, come on, just focus so I can take this picture, please. But yeah, these were really cool, and I'm looking forward to getting the other ones polished up. But I didn't write down my time. Man, look at that. Okay.
I was just thinking that.
Let's see here, and then going along with Kurt's Buchanan Thundereggs, you can't dig for those anymore. I do have a few kind of in the background tucked away, and by a few I mean actually a few. I don't have like a whole bunch of them. I have some
200?
smaller. What was that?
Few hundred?
No, I wish.
Wait, are there any Thunderegg ranches still open? You said the Buchanan one's closed and Richardson's is closed.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Richardson's is closed. Sorry, I'm getting some weird bars on my camera. So the Richardson's closes to public digging, but the family still goes in and they do some digging and they bring the eggs out to the ranch or to the rock shop. Yeah. So Richardson's Rock Ranch is basically the Costco of the rock shops world. It's like it's if you pull it up on Google Maps, it's just literally a huge rock yard filled with piles and piles. Yeah, it's crazy. There are some other Thunderegg sites here in Oregon that you can't go to. I'm spacing the names on some of them, but there are some ones that are still open. But they don't necessarily have the iconic Richardson's egg look. But
Gotcha.
like the Buchanan ones, I really love these Buchanan eggs. I share about the one from the Rock Room Inn. I actually have a couple I haven't cut open because they remind me of dragon eggs. Like they're actually big, they're oblong-ish, like they look like an actual egg. So I just haven't cut it because I'm like, this just kind of reminds me of like an egg.
Jurassic Park.
But I do have some bigger clusters. I don't have the other half of this. I don't believe. I think I gave it away. I kept this one as like our best friend's rock. But this one is actually a cluster of Buchanan eggs. You can kind of see here that again it's like an oblong, so it actually looks like a bumpy egg. But if you look on the inside here,
oh wow,
that's cool.
That's wicked.
It's a huge cluster, and these typically fluoresce green. And I'll try to actually write down the time here. Maybe I can get a picture of to kind of put up of their glowing. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, this one was really cool. I think I actually cut this one, so it's really cool to see that on the inside. The one thing about these Buchanan eggs, for anyone that wants to polish these, or if they can get a hold of them, if they can polish them, the quartz lining or even the agate lining, whatever it might be, means SiO2, it's all quartz, whatever. But the exterior here, all the rhyolite, it's very soft. So typically with the Richardson Thundereggs, the rhyolite's actually, it's pretty tough. You can typically sand it all together. This material, this rhyolite is super soft. So a lot of times I'd be sanding a surface and I just have a divot or like it starts bending here because like it just wore away really quick.
I hate when that happens. It's so annoying when you're trying to polish.
When I get a flat surface, you just have like a dome.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's included with some fir tree pine needles here. 1 second. But yeah, we have another one here. It's just a little cluster. So we have a little one out here in the corner, big one in the back, one other one back here. We just flip it around, and
Wow.
These are really cool, and they do vary, and how hollow they might be. There's a few in the back I still want to get cut open just to see what's on the inside, but I like, I don't know, I like collecting things that you can't necessarily get anymore. So like when I found out you can't dig for these anymore, like if I can find them, I'll slightly hoard them. But yeah, these are really cool. And I guess for the last one, let's see here what we got. Again, a lot of you already know I like the Thunderegg cores, and I got a little collection here in the back shelf. Sorry, I get to see my pocket. So I hope you guys get to enjoy my pocket.
Nice Carhartt.
Yeah, that's more or less what I'll typically wear most of the time. Sorry, I got a little stash here on my shelf. Oh. I'm not gonna edit that part out. You guys get to see all the glory of that. Anyway. So again, I love the Thunderegg cores. They're very unique to me. The fact that they broke away from the rhyolite crust and nothing was left except for the core of the Thunderegg itself. So these are different ones than they were from the last podcast, because I have Thunderegg cores in the actual rock room. I have Thunderegg cores out here, and I'm pretty sure I have more somewhere in the shelving behind me, and then also more out on the pile. So I have them everywhere.
So you're like Tyler with Geodes, but like Thundereggs.
Yeah,
basically, that's what you're saying.
I don't think I have as many as Tyler does, but yeah,
close.
Yeah, I might have a couple. I don't. It's okay, guys. It's not a problem.
No problem. Yeah, so we got a pretty big core here. Kind of see it's have a weird shape, and if you kind of picture it, it's kind of hard to really describe here on this video, but depending on which way you cut this, it'll depend on the shape that you get. And of course, it's also going to depend on the shape of the core itself. Like for this one here, I never actually got to polish it, but I'm like, oh man, this is nice and perfect. It's only got a little bit of rhyolite here on the corner, just a little bit. And then I decided to kind of face polish one of the sides. I just never finished it. I just got distracted naturally. So I think that's off for like stage 600. Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of cool to just take the core of Thunderegg and kind of do like a window polish to kind of see what's on the inside. And I was really expecting, I was hoping to get some moss agate in there. There is some tubing that might be going on in there, but nothing too exciting. I was hoping for, again, a lot of moss. It would have been really cool to actually get like one of these, really red core, and just face polish it and like, oh, that'd be cool. I mean, I do have this one. This one does have some kind of red orange tinge to it, but again, here in the light, you can kind of see that it's a little light in color, so it might not be a super colorful core. But again, I don't know until I actually do some work to it. There is some rhyolite still matrix here on this side. So maybe one of these days I might just cut it in half to see what's going on the inside. Go from there. But other than that, that's what I got.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's really cool to see the Thunderegg cores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're very unique. And so Jared, currently Rock.Hounding, he just did a video. Oh gosh, I'm spacing that. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I'm losing track of my days.
Yesterday.
But yeah.
I saw it. I saw the notification, but I haven't been able to see it yet.
Yeah, I think it was the lily pad Thundereggs. But so the thing is, I don't care how big something is or how small something is. If, like, for example, the Richardson Thundereggs, they can also get pretty small too, but it's super hit or miss if there's anything on the inside. But it seems like the lily pad Thundereggs, like a lot of the ones that he was cutting had something inside of it, and you wouldn't think so looking at it, but they're little balls of joy. And I'm like, okay, someday I have to make it up there so I can get my own, because those little things are cute. What?
Actually, I have a chunk of matrix with some of those little lily pad Thundereggs from a trade with Ragnar, and I've only I only tried to cut it in half once, and my saw couldn't handle it, and it was just a terrible cut. So I was like, I'm not gonna. It was like I got bullied in one of my live streams. I was doing some cutting, and I showed some of the stuff from Ragnar, and everybody was like, "Cut the slab, cut the big one, cut the big one, cut the big one." I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it," and I just got bullied into it, and it was just a bad cut. And Ragnar was like, "You shouldn't have listened to him." So I just kind of left it alone since then. But I know. As soon as he said lily pad, I was like, wait a second. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Those things are ridiculous. So much going on in them.
Yeah. So that's on my wish list to go up there. But we have kind of reached the end of our little segment of Geodes and Thundereggs, and now we're getting towards wisdom.
Ooh.
Still spacing what your words of wisdom going to be.
Oh yeah, dude. Pressure's on me first, right?
I mean, if you want, I go first, kid, and give you guys, at least a minute.
Kurt and I are slacking a little bit.
Yeah.
No worries. So, I guess my words of wisdom would be to, I'm going to keep it safe since we're kind of in the thick of summer at this point. Is drink water. Be sure to pack a lot of it. Doesn't matter if you're going to work, if you're going to do activities on the weekend. Pack water, keep water. Just get a gallon jug of water and keep it in your car just in case you happen to forget. But the more water you have, the better. It's better to be safe than sorry. For example, earlier this week, I went to work and I figured I'd be the water I brought with me should have been fine, but we were gone a lot longer than I thought I was going to be, and I didn't have enough water, so I just had to really pace myself on drinking the water. I mean, we had AC, but it was also like 90 degrees outside, and we're working out and about. I'm like, okay, I should have brought more water. So bring more water with you. Okay, well, that's my words of wisdom. Tyler, what you got?
Very wise words indeed. I would say it's okay to take more than one trip, and I'll elaborate a little bit on that. For me, when I go out collecting and I go geode hunting, and for me, where the places I know of, there's an abundance of geodes. So I have to be selective on which ones I decide to take. And it's those are the words of wisdom that I gave myself the last trip I was out when I went out with Greg. Was normally I'll make a plan, or I'm going to go 20 to 30 yards up the creek. I'm going to search this area. I'm going to fill my buckets. I'm going to go back, and then I'm not going to look down until I get back to the spot where I stopped. And then I want to go from there, and, then I'll go back. And I realize it's not super far for me to just walk back. So now I try and just fill half buckets, fill up a bucket halfway, then walk back because I'm not hurting myself. So it's okay to take more than one trip. So that's like very wise words, I think, for those who think they just need to get all of it right away. Because I've been geode collecting now for a few years, and like I said, I know where they are. I know where to go and get them, and I still, I'll get to a point in my head where I'm like, okay, I'm only gonna fill halfway, and then I just get past it, and I'm like, I might as well just fill it up the whole way. Like, as long as I can as long as my hands can reach the handles, it doesn't matter if the geodes are outside of the bucket. Just take more than one trip, guys.
Wise words.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your wise words of wisdom. Kurt, what you got?
My pleasure.
I'm still trying to figure that one out, but what keeps playing in my head is like that moment in Forrest Gump where he's like, life's like a box of chocolate, but geodes. Life's like a box of geodes. No, but that's just what's playing in my head. I don't know. I guess going out rock hounding and stuff, like Tyler said, take multiple trips. And if it's too big to take back, plan it somewhere so that you're not going to forget, pinpoint the location on your phone so you can come back with the right tools you need, so you're not like killing yourself trying to take them back. And bring plenty of water if you're not going to be hunting near water. And I'm trying to think. I actually had a good one, but it disappeared on me before we started. Oh no. So like you guys know the Yellowstone was flooding.
Yeah.
And certain areas of the world that you get flash floods and other types of flooding going on. If you're ever out in nature and you see like a little, like you're in a dry creek bed, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, there's just like a little stream of water going by, get the heck out of that creek bed. It's gonna flood soon. So just be safe be safe, and always pay attention to your surroundings, and just be safe.
Which means don't rock hound with earbuds in.
No, or headphones on, listening to music, listening to the nature.
Oh, I've never even thought about having headphones in while rock hounding. Like you gotta be a little crazy to need some headphones while you're out there. Come on now. Unless you're urban rock hounding, then I can understand that, going into like looking at like landscaping or something and trying not to get yelled at. So then the headphones are to, look like you can't hear anybody, but otherwise, enjoy nature. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your words of wisdom, Kurt. And that kind of does it for our show. So I miss Karen. She did so good at like getting us out of here.
I know.
I need an adult
and taking us out.
But Tyler, for those new here, where can people find you on your social media handles? And so
my main baby is YouTube. Find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Geode Collector. Same name. Over on TikTok, you can find me on TikTok. I do put out content somewhat there. Instagram, I've got one of those as well. And Facebook, those I don't really nurture as much because ADHD brain, and I could only focus on so many things. But YouTube is the main thing, and TikTok. So lots of content coming out there. And it's not always the same content on both platforms. So if you want to see everything I do, check out both.
That's very smart. But so thank you for joining us tonight, Tyler. It was nice to have you on again. And
my pleasure.
Have to be sure to have you on, a lot sooner than we did last time. And then for everyone else who's watching, thank you so much for joining along with our podcast every single week. We certainly appreciate you guys watching and hanging out Fridays when the premieres. For show and tell, be sure to send pictures to, oh my gosh, is it rockhoundroundtable@gmail.com, I think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I should know this.
You set it up.
I did. I'd set it up. Karen spoils us. Thank you, Karen, for
Yes, big props and thank yous to Karen.
But yeah, so if you guys have a show and tell for the next show and tell feature here on the podcast, be sure to send your picture show and tells along with a little story to the rockhoundroundtable@gmail.com. And yeah, send us hellos, how are yous, and then stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next. We'll see you guys next week. So rock on.
Yeah, rock on, everyone. Peace.
Have a good day.
Meow.